Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Floss, back again with another video. And today we're going to do the real review of the Moto Z Play. Now, before we get started, let me answer one of the main questions that everybody been asking me all week. Is the Moto Z Play my favorite $400 mid-range phone, or is it one of the other heavy hitters that I already reviewed in the battle? Well, if y'all watch the battle, you remember the ZTE Axon 7 was my favorite phone. Well, now we got a new champ in town. The Moto Z Play is my favorite mid-range phone. Now you have to remember, each of these phones have a feature or some options that make it better than one of the other ones. If you buy the ZTE Axon 7, hands down, you're getting the best speakers in the game. You're getting a hi-fi DAC, quad HD display, top of the line processor. And of course, the aluminum build. The phone is a win. If you buy the OnePlus 3, if you're heavy into gaming, this is the phone for you. Top of the line processor, you got 6 gigs of RAM, quality build, and probably one of the top 3 fingerprint sensors on the market. Now, if you buy the Idol 4S, this is the most bang for your buck. Now, if you're buying that phone as a trap phone or a backup phone or maybe a phone for the kids, you're getting the most for your money. You get a virtual reality headset, tempered glass screen protector, headphones, you get a case. This is an all-in-one phone and it works fine. But with the Moto Z Play, you're getting something that none of these other phones have: access to the Moto mods. Now, if y'all heard my vlogs before, you know, in my opinion, the Moto mods is the innovation of the year. Let me give you a little scenario. I'm at work. I work 9 to 5. Right now, maybe 4:30, I'm getting ready to get off. I've been on my phone all day long. Instagram, Snapchat, streaming videos from YouTube, streaming music directly to my Bluetooth headphones and my Bluetooth speaker. I've been going crazy all day. Now, 4:30, I'm getting off. I get a text message. Everybody want to meet up at the bar for happy hour. Look at my phone right now. I got 33% battery. All I have to do is grab the Toomey Power Pack. Now, look how thin this is. Super thin. Slap this on. And check this out. Now my phone went from 33% to 133%. That's 100% extra battery. That is crazy. Not too much thickness. Slapped it on just like that. Now hop in the Uber. I go over to the bar, happy hour. I'm getting my little buzz on and all that. Get another text message. The homies is meeting up at the crib. They want to go in the backyard, have a little barbecue, a little card game. Let's do it. Jump in the Uber, get to the homie's house. They got the card table out. Take off the power pack. Now all I got to do is drop on the next mod, the sound boost. Now check this out. Let's take it to the sound real quick. Play some music. You hear the music, right? Now I sit down at the table, slap this on.
You would know it's closed.
Got the kickstand. Now I'm the DJ. This is a major win right here. Major win. Now we at the barbecue. Everything is everything is going good. All the honey start coming through. I want to take some pictures. Break out the Hasselblad. Slap this on. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1 slap. Now I got a fully functional, almost, professional camera. Now I'm the photographer. This is a major win right here. And this is only the beginning. Once I get the projector, then I have my portable TV, portable DVD player, portable whatever. I have all my movies on deck. And who knows what other kind of mods they're going to come out with next. All right, so the Moto mods, to me, that's the innovation of the year. And that's one of the reasons that makes this my favorite phone. Now, there's some other stuff too. We're going to get into that in a minute. There's some other stuff too. But as usual, we got to talk about everything that I don't like first, and then we'll get into everything that I do like. So let's start with everything that I don't like. Now, y'all know, they call me Petty Roosevelt, but I'm glad that I got to point out some of this stuff because I'll show you why in a minute. Some of this stuff does change. Number 1, no wireless charge. Now, with the other Moto Zs, yeah, we can understand that. We got the metal back. Same thing with all of these other phones. Fine. But even the Idol 4S, no metal, still glass back, but no wireless charge. Is that a big deal? Might not be for you, but for me, I need the wireless charging. Now, if I pull out some of my Galaxy phones, my Note 7, S7 Edge, Note 5, phones like that I haven't plugged in months. I don't even remember plugging in those phones. I've been using strictly wireless charging. So wireless charging for me, that's a big deal. Might not be a big deal for you. Shout out to Xerxes, just popped in on out of the cut. Next, no IR blaster. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you know, why you always talking about IR blasters? A lot of phones don't have IR blasters. Look at the Huawei Honor 8. All right, $300 and you got an IR blaster. Which brings me to my point. A lot of people say I be petty when I point out these dislikes, but the more we point these dislikes out, companies do listen. So now we keep complaining about wireless charging. Before you know it, more companies going to start dropping wireless charge, especially on phones that have a glass back. There's no excuse to not have wireless charging. IR blaster, look how small it is. Don't take up any space. No excuse to not have an IR blaster. All right, so I don't like that. Next, the phone is not waterproof. Now it is rated IP52, so that means you can get it splashed on. If you're out in the rain and it does get a little bit wet, no problems. If you're riding your bike and you roll through the sprinkler system, no problem. But if somebody earth slams you into the pool and your phone gets submerged, you're going to have a serious problem. All right, so no waterproof, not the biggest deal in the world, but even companies like Apple, if Apple's coming out with waterproof iPhones, then you know it's time for the whole market to have waterproof phones. Next, no removable battery. Now, is that the biggest deal in the world? No, especially when you got these little power packs. But I'm a phone savage. I like to walk around with 3-4 batteries on deck, especially when I travel. Now, not the big deal. You do got these Toomey power packs, so you might have to just buy 2 of these and you can rock out. But it's a little bit more money you're gonna have to spend. These replacement batteries are usually a lot cheaper than buying a power bank. Next, now the display. No Quad HD. Same thing with the OnePlus 3. You got 1080p. All right, so 1080 by 1920, not Quad HD. Now, in real life, does that make a difference? Not really. With the naked eye, are you going to be able to look at the phone and say, oh, wait a minute, look at the PPIs. That's not Quad HD. Of course not. But as a consumer, when you're spending your money and you see there's other phones on the market, now before you even looked at these phones and you went online and you pulled up the spec sheets, you seen 1080p, Quad HD. What you going to do? You want the Quad HD. So I don't know why Moto skimped. You got Quad HD on the Moto Z Force and the Moto Z Droid. They should have just upped and went for the Quad HD. Not the biggest deal in the world. Next, the processor. Now you got a Snapdragon 625 with the Adreno 506. Now if you pull out ZT Axon 7, you got a Snapdragon 820, Adreno 530. What does that mean in the real world? Not much. All right, not much. But again, if you're just looking at specs on paper, you're going to want the best. And this phone definitely takes a hit with the processor. Now, we're going to go over that in a little bit more detail because it really doesn't matter. I'm just being a specologist right now, so I got to mention that. Next. All right, let me get something for Xerxes to play with. All right. Next, the look of the phone. Now, this is one thing that I don't like about this phone. The back is not the most sexiest. All right, now, if a phone could be sexy, you tell me. But if you're rocking this without a case, you got those pins right there exposed. I don't like that look. But the main thing I don't like about this look of the phone and really the build is the way the camera is sitting up on this hump. So when you put your phone face up on the table, the first thing that hits the table or whatever surface your phone is on is your camera. That's the first thing. Now take it from me, after having years and years of phones and going through this problem before, I don't care what phone you got. I don't care how many megapixels, how many f1 point whatever aperture is the lens. Once this camera surface gets a scratch on it, your pictures are going to look like shit and there's nothing you could do about it. All right, nothing at all. So when you lay the phone flat, it's going directly on the camera. Now, is that the biggest deal in the world? No, because you get yourself a style mod. Let me pull one of those out right now. You get a style mod, you slap on the style mod. Now that kind of makes it more flush. All right, so now when you put the phone face down, yeah, it's still on the lens, but it's not taking up all of the shock. So if you drop the phone on the table, the camera lens is not going to be the first thing that hit. It's going to take up the whole back of the phone. All right, and now the last thing about this phone that I don't like. This has to do with the release. Now this comes out strictly on Verizon at first, and then they'll have unlocked versions starting in October. Now for me, that's a fail. They should be like companies like Apple and Samsung. Now, Motorola, pay attention. You see when the iPhone drops, it drops on Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. Same thing with the Galaxy Notes. Same thing with the LG V20. Dropping on all of the carriers. Now, I know people are going to say, well, you know, if you really like the phone, just wait till October. But you got to remember, these phones are coming out. Every other week, there's a new phone coming out. The amount of money that Moto are going to take a loss on because people are going to buy this Huawei Honor 8. Got the Blue Vivo 5 just dropped. Got LG V20 iPhones hitting the market. By the time October comes, who knows if anybody's still going to want this phone. Everybody already going to have something else. So I think when they release these phones, they need to release them for Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. All right, chill out with all this exclusive Verizon stuff. I don't like that. Now, that's everything that I don't like. Now let's get into everything that I do like. Starting with the price. All right, now the price on this phone, $400. That puts it right on par with all of the other $400 heavy hitters. So now you got a $400 phone to choose from. So the price is right. And we talked about this before. Those days of buying these, $1,000 phones, they coming to an end. All right, now the Note 7, almost $1,000. I just pre-ordered iPhone 7 Plus, 256 gigs. After taxes, $1,050. You get this phone for $400. So the price, I'm definitely feeling. Next, let's talk about the build quality. Now the build quality on this is a go. Now, I might not like the look of it too much, but y'all know how I feel about the glass backs. Now, somebody was complaining that these style mods, they don't stay on. Trust me, they do. You see how these just don't pop off. You got to work these off. You got to work them off. So they fit nice and snug, and they're not going to come off easy. You can't shake this off. It's not going to come off in your pocket. You're not going to have to worry about that. And you see, I gotta have a little struggle to get these off. There we go. Build quality on this is a go. You got the aluminum sides, glass back. The phone has a premium feel. Nothing cheap about this at all. Now, when you hold this in your hand and you hold the Idol 4S, same price. The Idol 4S, glass backs, little aluminum trim. The Idol just feels a lot lighter and feels a little bit more cheap. All right, when you grab the Moto Z Play, it's gonna feel like a premium phone. Now, if you grab the Play and you grab the Z Droid Force, the Force is a little bit more heavy because you got the metal back, but they still feel pretty much the same quality. Now, one thing that I do like about this build, as opposed to the Moto Z Force, the shatter shield. All right, so this one doesn't have the shatter shield. The Moto Z Force does, and if you look, you see I got that scratch right there. Look at those scratches. You see all those scratches? The shatter shield, to me, that was a fail. So this one, no shatter shield, so you're not gonna have no scratches. Let me grab a little cleaning cloth real quick. Shine this up. No scratches. I'm rocking this with no case for over a week. All right, so the build on this, a go. Next, let's talk about the display. Now you got 1080p display, no quad HD, but like I said, with the naked eye, you're not going to be able to tell. It's Super AMOLED, so the blacks, look how dark they look. Blacks is going to look nice and dark. Everything is bright and vibrant. Don't really get too involved with all of this quad HD versus 1080p. For $400, I really wouldn't complain. And looking at this with the naked eye is really nothing to complain about. All the pictures, everything looks nice. Nothing to really see. All right, so the display on this is a go. Now, let's talk about the camera real quick. The camera on this, not the best in the world, but it's not trash. All right, so let's take it to the camera. For point and shoot, now keep in mind, you could go to pro mode right here. You got pro mode. All right, so you could change the white balance, the shutter speed, the ISO. You could change all that stuff. But most people ain't gonna have time to do all of that. When you pull your phone out, you just want to point and shoot. So for point and shoot pictures, let me show you some stuff I took already. Let's pull this up. Now this is from in the gym earlier. One thing about the camera on point and shoot mode, the pictures come out a little bit dark. Right? They're not going to be as bright and vibrant. This is in the airport earlier. They still look cool though. They still look cool. 16 megapixel camera, no optical image stabilization. All right, so you do got 4K video, but you're just going to have a steady hand. Pictures do come out pretty good. Now, you also have to remember, when you're taking a picture, they do come out a little dark. But when you hold that focus, you could brighten them up by hand. All right, so not too hard to do. Just got to get used to using that, and you got to remember that you have it on deck before you do your point and shoot, and you could take some bright pictures. You see, I took a bright picture, and it will come out brighter. All right, you do got some features on this also. One of my favorite features, shutter sound. I turn the shutter sound off for your DL photos. Camera on this is cool. All right, don't compare this to a Galaxy phone. Don't compare it to an iPhone. Don't compare it to LG G5. No, but it's cool. Now, I do like the Z Force camera a little bit better. Well, a lot better. But this one, it'll get the job done. All right, this is not going to take the place of your digital camera, but it'll get the job done. Next, let's talk about something important now, battery life. The battery life on this phone is terrific. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, in the press release, and, you go to the websites, you go to Motorola.com, they saying you're going to get 50 hours worth of battery time. And a lot of people want to know, is that true? And the answer is, hell no. Not no, hell no. You're not getting 50 hours of battery use with this phone. Now, 50 hours of standby time, definitely, easily. You'll easily get 50 hours of standby time. But actual battery use, you're not getting 50 hours. All right, now, if you see, I took this phone, it's 2:30 in the morning right now. I took this off at 6 o'clock in the morning. All right, and I still got 32%. 3.5, this is almost 4 hours of on-screen time. Now, when I use this super heavy, I got a little bit more than 6 hours of on-screen time. That is amazing. That's the most that you're going to get out of any Android phone that's out right now. In my opinion, out of all of the ones that I got, that's the most on-screen time. So you got a 3,510 milliamp battery with quick charge. Now, if you see my Z Force review, same thing with the Z Play. This is the definition of the shit shower and shave phone. Trust me. All right, 30 minutes. If you get home and your phone is at 30% and you plug it in, you go take a dump, take a shower, shave, get dressed. Even when you're in a rush, you pick your phone back up, it's going to be between 70 and 80% in those 30 minutes. All right, so now they claim you could go 9 hours and 15 minutes. That's false. All right, that's false. But 30 minutes is going to give you enough charge to rock out for the rest of the day. Now, this brings me to my next point, the operating system. All right, now it's running Android, Marshmallow, latest version of Android. But here's the thing. You got the Snapdragon 625 as opposed to the Snapdragon 820. What does that mean in real life? Not much. All right, the only way you're going to tell the difference is gaming. But the Snapdragon 625, coupled with this big giant battery and the way they optimized it, that's why you're getting these insane battery times. Now, I will tell you something I did for fun. Let me show you real quick. Just for fun, I took my Moto Z, the Droid Force, and I took the Moto Z Play. I've been using them all day long, both of them simultaneously. All right, going back and forth, back and forth. If somebody gave you both of these phones and said, look, both of these are the Moto Z Droid Force. One is black, one is white. And they didn't tell you that this is the Play and this one has a different processor, you're not going to know. And I'd be willing to bet money that you wouldn't know. All right, just from handling these and opening, closing apps, you're not going to be like, oh, okay, well, I could tell. Look at Max. Oh, boy, I was about to troll him. You're not going to be able to just open and close an app, or you're not going to just go to a website and say, okay, I could automatically see that this is Snapdragon 620 and this is Snapdragon 820. You're not going to be able to notice the difference. But you will notice the difference in battery life. This one, the battery life is a lot better than on the other ones. All right, so don't get too heavy with the specs. The Snapdragon 625, it performs just as good as the Snapdragon 820. Now, the only time you will notice is when you're doing some heavy gaming. Now, y'all know I'm not a heavy gamer on the phone, so I can't really speak on that too much. But just day-to-day stuff, using Snapchat, using Snapchat, using Instagram, Twitter, watching videos, YouTube Music. All of this stuff works perfectly fine. Now, you got 32 gigs of onboard storage and 3 gigs of RAM. All right, now you also have expandable memory, so you can drop your micro SD card up in here, up to 256 gigs. So the processor, this is pretty good. All right, pretty good. Now, like I said, just for spec purposes, I would have liked to see Snapdragon 820, but it didn't really make a difference. See, I'm trying to, you're trying to make it lag, it will not lag. This phone will not lag. Next, let's talk about the fingerprint sensor. Now, shout out to Moto, one of the best fingerprint sensors in the game. All right, now, there's only 2 fingerprint sensors I got right now that I would even compare this to, and that's the Huawei Honor 8 and the OnePlus 3. Now, a lot of people don't like this square home button. For me, I don't really care. I don't really care that it's square. I really care more about the fact of does it work or not. And look how fast that is. Just like that. Now, this is not a physical home button that goes up and down. You just rest your finger on it. So all you got to do is tap it and it opens. And it opens 100% of the time. So you got one of the best fingerprint sensors in the game. Now, let's talk about gestures. You do got a bunch of gestures, the same gestures from the other Moto Zs. All right, so let's go to actions. You got approach for display. So when you got your phone on the table like this, all you have to do, hover over it, and it'll activate the display. Well, it should activate the display. There it goes. Activate the display. Now, I got to remember that on the Moto Z, you got sensors on the top and the bottom. On the Z Play, you only got sensors on the top. All right, so when you want to activate it, you're going to have to wave your hand over the top. If you had notifications, you tap the screen and your notifications will come up on screen. All right, let's check out some of the other gestures. You got chop twice for flashlight. So that means when you pull the phone out of your pocket, chop it twice, that'll activate your flashlight. Chop it again, that'll deactivate it. You got your flip for do not disturb. All right, so if you're at work and you got your phone on ring and you're not supposed to be using the phone and your boss comes in, flip it upside down and that'll put your phone on do not disturb. That's a hot feature right there. You got pick up to stop ringing. So when your phone is ringing, once you pick it up, it'll automatically start vibrating and it'll kill the ringer. Now you got swipe to shrink the screen. Now I really don't use that, but it does work. All you do is swipe up. Now if you have little hands or tiny fingers, swipe up like this from the bottom. Let me see just like that. Now I really don't use that feature, so I don't really got the hang of it too much, but you get the idea. Now you got one hand usage. When you want to get rid of it, touch any area that's black and it'll disappear. Next, now one of my favorite gestures, the twist to activate the camera. So once you twist that, that'll activate the camera. And you see how fast that goes? Once you get the hang of this, say your phone is in your pocket, while it's coming out of your pocket, all you got to do is a little twist. You don't got to break your wrist, a little twist, and that'll activate the camera. So this is the World Star Hip Hop gesture or the media takeout gesture. When you see that action, look, it could be on any screen just like that. All right, so you do get a bunch of gestures. Definitely feeling that. What else? Anything else we need to cover? You do got USB Type-C. All right, so your connection port is a little bit future-proof. Now, here's a nice benefit as opposed to the the other models. You got a headphone jack. Out on both of the other Moto Zs, no headphone jack. This one, you got a headphone jack. Now, I can't tell you how many times I get in the car when I'm using my Moto Z Droid, and I keep forgetting to bring that little adapter. I need to just leave one in the car, and I can't plug in my aux cable and let that fire come out. Well, when you got the Moto Z Play, you're not going to have that problem. Headphone jack on deck. Another cool little feature. Now, you see I got notifications. Let's activate this real quick. Now, I got a Gmail. Just hit the button, and you see your notifications. You can see your Instagrams. You hit more. You can see all your notifications without unsleeping the phone. All right, so I like that little feature right there. What else? Here's another cool feature. Your home screen does rotate. This is a stock setting. All right, home screen does rotate. Now, that's kind of cool when you're using a car dock. Now, I don't know about you. When I get in the car, I don't like docking my phone like this. I like docking it in landscape mode. And all the home screens work. So that's a nice little touch right there. Now, let's talk about one of the most important things, the lag factor. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to get this right this time. 10 being the most lag in the world, old school HTC phones, and 1 being super smooth, no lag at all, I would say Moto Z status. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this phone a 1. All right, no lag. Now, I said this before about the other Moto Zs, and I'm going to say it again. If you know somebody that has an iPhone, and they've been using the iPhone for the last maybe 2-3 years, they haven't used Android since the HTC Evo days or since the original Galaxy days when Android used to be lagging like crazy, and that turned them off from Android and they've been Team iOS since then, and they want to try some Android experience, and you've been bragging about how smooth your Android phones are, do not give them a Galaxy phone to play with as their first time using Android. Don't do it. Give them this phone, give them an HTC 10, or give them a OnePlus 3. Even the Nexus 6P, that's pretty smooth, but this is one of the smoothest Android experiences you're going to get. Now look how many windows I got open, still smooth. This is one phone that I haven't got to lag yet. And the same thing with my other Moto Zs. Now my Galaxy Note, I can get it to lag, but you got to remember phones like the Galaxy Notes, they have a little bit more features. You got your split screen multitasking, you got your S Pen functionality, a lot of stuff going on. This UI is pretty much close to a stock UI. I like that though. No lag at all. All right, now this is one of the smoothest Android experiences you're gonna get. It's almost like a stock Nexus. So if you're not really heavy into Moto skins, which you won't really even notice because there ain't really too much stuff. You know, you got a few of their animations here and there. This is one phone you're not going to have to go to, developer options and changes, window scaling and all that. You're not going to have to do nothing. Fresh out of the box, no lag at all. And that's why this is one of my favorite mid-range phones. Now, my ZTE Axon, the Axon 7, you do get a hiccup here and there. It's a lot of stuff going on with that one too, I will admit. Idle 4S, little lag here and there. OnePlus 3, super smooth. But this one right here and the other Moto phones, no lag whatsoever. Now, last but not least, the floss factor. Now, what's the floss factor? Y'all know already. When you pull your phone out of your pocket, are you sitting on top of the food chain, or you coming out with some old school HTC phone from back in the days, and you gotta, keep quiet when the real people is talking about phones? Well, floss factor on this, let's compare it to the other $400 heavy hitters that's out. Floss factor on this one, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this one a 7. Not the best looking phone out there. All right, definitely not the best looking phone. And this one is available at Verizon, so you will see more people with it. Now, to this day, I've never been anywhere and seen anybody with a OnePlus 3 when I have my OnePlus 3 out. Same thing with the Axon 7, same thing with the Idol 4S. So these phones are a little bit more rare, and more rare stuff gets a little bit more noticed. All right, so the Moto Z Force, you will see these when you hit the streets, especially people that have Verizon. You're definitely going to see these. So your floss factor ain't really at the top of the food chain, but if you want to bring it up, all you got to do is come out with the Hasselblad, or you come out with the JBL sound boost. Now, when you come out with this mod right here, you are shutting down the game. And if anybody watch videos, when you got this on, they know you got 100% extra battery this thin. All right, so the Moto mods, like I said, innovation of the year, that does kind of add to the floss factor. Now, on a side note, a lot of people been asking me about the Hasselblad, and I kind of went over this in a vlog, in a live video. I'll go over it again real quick. The Hasselblad is cool. All right, it's cool. Now, when I first did the video on it, I did only nighttime photos. I took it out again in the daytime, did some more photos. It does work better in the daytime. The 10 times optical zoom, yeah, it's crazy. But the price on this is just I cannot tell you to go out and cop this. I can't do it. The price is too damn high, and it's not worth it. The zoom is crazy, but your phone zoom is almost just as good. Now, if you get the Hasselblad and you got the Play, I would say don't do it. If you want the Hasselblad, make sure you got a better camera. All right, make sure you got the Z Droid Force or the Moto Z with a higher aperture and better resolution on the camera. All right, if you got more megapixels on the camera. On the Moto Z Play, the camera's not that great to begin with. So adding the Hasselblad to it for $300, that really don't make no sense. All right, makes no sense. I would say if you get the Moto Z, you definitely got to get this Toomey Power Pack, you see, from 30% to 130% in less than a second. And if you don't get nothing else, get the JBL Sound Boost. All right, this is the best mod right here in the game. If you're going to get this phone, just factor the price of this into the price of your phone. And of course, get yourself a style mod. You're going to need the style mod. This way you get rid of that ugly camera hump on the back. Anyway, if there's anything I forgot to cover, hit me up in the comments. I'll be glad to answer any questions. And if y'all want to go back and forth, we could go back and forth. If y'all think one of these other $400 phones is better, We can argue about that too. All right, comment section is wide open. Anyway, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Shout out to everybody that rock with me on Facebook, Foursquare, Twitter, Google+. Shout out to all the Google gangsters. I see y'all holding down that Facebook page. Shout out to everybody hitting me up on Foxer. And a special shout out to everybody rocking with me on Instagram. Y'all know that's where I'm at full time, 100% full throttle. And a special shout out to everybody rocking with the new stream on Sundays. Y'all already know, Stream Gangsters on deck. Get your drinks ready. No meat boys allowed. Oh yeah, special shout out to everybody following me on Snapchat, Flossy_Carter. That's where I'm at. And a special shout out to the notification squad. I see y'all in the comment section early. #salute. Oh yeah, one more thing. Almost forgot. Fellas, ladies, say it with me. All y'all haters, all y'all trolls, close your eyes and picture me rolling. It's your boy Floss, I'm out. Deuces. Spot, run the beam up. Energize.